Well, John, you just said a beautiful thing about sitting around an imaginary fire here. And I guess my question kind of pertains to that. I feel fortunate to be able to meet you in this strange technological forum and be here with everyone else here. I wonder what you think about this sort of strange Zoom window that we can all look into and be with each other in some partial way. And what do you think about breathing together and sharing this time space as sort of an affordance of this technology? Is this something we're going to continue to do after we're like out of this weird pandemic thing? Or is this like a passing moment in human history?
I think we keep this going forward. It'll be with us. Where do you live?
I live in upstate New York on the Hudson River, north of the city, a few hours.
Yeah, so like, this is amazing that we can meet.
It is. It's so special.
Yeah, so from that point of view, my wife Julia is on her way to upstate New York. I think today she's away for a sound healing course. Interesting one combination that she's going to be doing some sound healing and some other modalities together combined. And if it wasn't for Julia, I wouldn't be doing this. So while you were presenting your question at the same time, I'm connected to Julia. I was thinking, this technology we should be able to do in our meditations. And we should also be able to do just like now. So, because I have a strong love and such a gratitude to my wife, Julia, she's with me now. So, and there's an imaginary little screen there, and Julia's there. And she's been priming me, saying, "Look, John, just once a week, there's a community out there that would love to be able to talk to you." I have no idea. Thank you, Graham. I mean, Graham looks after, and if it wasn't for Graham, I wouldn't have a yoga app. Graham introduced me to the idea of doing a yoga app. There's John Scott yoga apps. If you have a look, Graham's designed those and made all those. They're fabulous. If you want to learn counting, you can go to the app. The technology is fabulous. We've got online courses, and people do them, but I have no idea how many people watch the Purple Valley YouTube primary series. Yeah, so there's some thumbs up there. So the technology fills in that fact that there is a solid planet Earth, continents, oceans between. And right now, I can't travel to New York because I'm an illegal alien. I got kicked out a couple of times for teaching yoga. And not the second time that I was kicked out, I even had a business visa, but I hadn't read the fine print. It was supposed to be electronic transfer from country to country, not to receive cash or payment in the country. And that was how they tripped me up. And I got banned the second time. So from that point of view, at the moment, I'm writing a letter to immigration lawyer because Julia's saying, look, you just have to come to New York. It's one of the places I never got to in America is New York. I was only on the West Coast and the Hawaii and Oregon. So I've enjoyed meeting you all. I've enjoyed allowing the inner child to create a fire and a family of people around the fire and a talk. And if we get a good feedback, then I'll continue it. And so it looks like, there's some thumbs up. It looks like that it's here to stay with us, but it's not going to replace. It won't replace for me the one-on-one. The most special retreat that I do at the moment with Julia is in Apulia. There's maximum 12 people in the class. And 12 is like the maximum for me. It's like a focus 12. It's beautiful. I love to work like that. With Julia, it's a 1-to-6 ratio. Anything bigger than that, we need to bring in extra people. And so I was very lucky when I was in Mysore. At the very, 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 very beginning, there was only 8 people in the Shala, a total of 8 people in the Shala. And the very first visit that I had with Pattabhi Joyce on my 3rd month, because he was then leaving to go to America, the numbers had dropped. There was maximum 24 people that were there. So there was 3 batches of 8. And on my last month, there was only 4 of us in the Shala. And so on my very first visit to Guruji, my relationship was really galvanized by being adjusted in every asana right through the whole entire primary series. And that relationship then continued on. So I've been adjusted in every one of my asanas. And what I see now is that there's no adjusting at all. And so one of those sutras has gone. And that sutra was, in Mysore, I put your body in the position. When you go home, body remembers. And so what I would translate that to is that in Mysore, the adjustment from Pattabhi Joyce was working on your nervous system and neural programming, the whole thing, that when you went back, your body would remember it. And so one of the things I love is that intimacy of physical adjustments, and people that have received adjustments from myself, and many of the people that have gone through the teacher training. I had one person just recently say, I definitely want to do your teacher training when you start one, because if what I've noticed, that everyone that's ever adjusted me that has come from your teaching, they all have a similarity in the way that they adjust. And so there is something special in the way I got adjusted. My previous life was an industrial designer, and I did ergonomics and anatomy and all these things. And because I have that inquiring mind, I really inquired into how I was being adjusted. And so I really took on the adjustments from Pattabhi Joyce. And so that's one thing I'll never let go of is the one-to-one adjusting, the small groups of practice. Bigger events are fun for the energy, and so it's really great to have sometimes 50. When I'm over in China, really missing China at the moment, we've had 120 in a class in China, which was absolutely amazing. Mic and screens and cameras and the whole thing, it's crazy. And that's a different presentation altogether. As I said at the very beginning of the talk, this is probably my 4th Zoom class. The thought of actually doing a self-practice on Zoom, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't just sit and watch. I wanted to jump through the screen and do that. And also to do I've done a counted class. I did it for Miami Life Center. And that went quite well, but I didn't really want to do it again. And then what I've been doing is for the teacher training programs, like Sandra's one of the 500 hours, she has a teacher training program, and I think Claire's somewhere there. Claire's there. I can't see Claire, but Claire's there. And I went on to Claire's teacher training group and did a similar sort of talk and then Q&A. Chris was sitting there. Chris was there. And I do it for Rowie, who's over in Tel Aviv. So over in Israel, Rowie's teaching the same method. And I go on and I actually got his students to teach in front of me via the Zoom. It was okay, but I think the technology is amazing. It will stay with us. It'll come with us. I will continue to do this if it really is popular. But I also really encourage you to come and meet in person if you can. Especially when there's the two of us, because you need Purusha Prakriti together. You need masculine and feminine together. It's beautiful. When you get the two together, it's fabulous.